Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Movie Dudes. I'm Phil,
And I'm Alec.
and today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite movies of all time, Scott Pilgrim vs. The World.
Hell yeah.
So, let me just pull up the letterbox page. So, Scott Pilgrim vs. The World is a 2010 movie directed by Edgar Wright. Tells the story. Well, so it's an adaptation of the graphic novel series Scott Pilgrim, telling the story of Scott Pilgrim, as I said, who's a 22-year-old Canadian living in Toronto, who is in a relationship with a 17-year-old high school girl, until he meets another woman about closer to his age, named Ramona Flower, and he falls immediately in love with her. So he decides to kind of like be in a relationship with both her and his other girlfriend Knives, until that all blows out. And the other big thing is that when he starts dating Ramona Flowers, he has to fight Ramona's seven exes in fights, kind of like those big like action movie fights or fighting game fights. And yeah, so he has to fight every single one. Most of those fights are related to bands because he's in a band with his friends, and he I don't really know what else to add, except no, I don't really know what else to add, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for the summary.
It's not the most complicated movie, but it is really good. But yeah, I guess we can go into it. So, Alec, what did you think?
Yeah, this was my first time seeing this movie, and in the time before watching the movie, because there was a pretty substantial break in between recording this episode and the last, and that was mainly due to apartment troubles. As you can see, my entire back wall is still under construction. But anyway, in that time, I decided I wanted to read all of the graphic novels so I could be even better prepared for this episode. And I believe I got through maybe 3 of them, and then I was like, you know what, this is just not too entertaining. And they're fine. I think they're fine graphic novels, but like it just didn't really keep me engaged, I guess. So I just decided to watch the movie, and I'm glad I did that, because I think the movie is leaps and bounds more funny, even though it's mainly the same jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just...
Yeah, that's kind of what I heard, yeah.
It's something about Edgar Wright's presentation of them, and of course the actors giving great performances, that like that elevates it to a whole nother level. But yeah, I mean, I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
I would one of the like the first like 4 notes I gave were literally just all about how much I loved the editing and pacing of all the scenes.
Yeah,
because it's a very quick movie. It's very quick, and it's very fun. Like it really just keeps going. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
It's very video game influenced. I don't know if we really said that yet.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, a lot of the visuals has like video gamey stuff, just kind of like, mixed throughout.
Yeah, a lot of Zelda music in the soundtrack.
Yeah, a lot of Zelda music there. A lot of like Zelda theme.
Yeah,
like just little
a lot of Zelda. Yeah,
just like little like doo-doo-doo, just kind of sprinkled in throughout throughout the movie. And I think it works really well. And it's like a lot of other movies are not really able to pull off that like kind of referential humor off. But this movie does like really well. to the point where there's what was it? There's one scene with young Neil, which is the character that hangs out with Scott and his band Sex Bomb, and so he hangs out with them, and they're sitting there it's the first time Knives is there, and it's like, oh, what do you play? Asking him because it's well, what do you play? And he goes, oh, Zelda. It's a big question.
Yeah,
it's. And I think that's funny, and in any other movie like that, I think that joke would have felt completely flat.
Yeah, I think the reason why that is because a lot of movies, and now I'm mostly thinking of things like Ready Player One, that kind of stuff. Yeah. They're gonna make a reference, and they're gonna hey, see, that's the thing from your childhood. See, you like it, huh?
Yeah.
They're gonna be you're just gonna smash it in your head hey, that's a reference, ha. Well, Scott Pilgrim makes it so much more subtle, and I don't know, it's the thing that's funny is it makes so many jokes about video games, but the movie isn't about video games. It's just a movie that has gamers as its main character, so it just makes sense that their universe is very video game inspired.
Mm-hmm. And it's the universe is very video game inspired, but it's even more stylized, at least in the editing, after a comic book, which obviously the original story is a graphic novel. But one of my other notes was I just said this movie is a comic book come to life, because you have there's a lot of split screen shots where you see two characters. There's a lot of words popping up as sound effects, whether it be big things when Scott hits somebody, or with small things when someone flicks a light switch, you'll just see flick pop up near the light switch. It's such a cool choice.
Yeah, it's one of the most visually creative movies I've seen.
Creative is a great word ever. A great word to use.
It's so I've already mentioned this. Edgar Wright is one of my favorite directors of all time, and this is my favorite movie from him because I feel like this is the movie that he has it feels like it's the movie that he has the most fun with.
Oh, I would say so.
It just feels so it just feels like he got together with writer, editor, producer, and Brian Lee O'Malley, who made the graphic novel. They just all got together, and they were like, "What if we made this? Oh yeah, that's funny. Let's do that." It kind of just feels like that, and it makes it all feel just so much fun. Because if you know the people making the film had fun, then you're gonna have so much more fun watching it.
Yeah,
it's just gonna
another one of my favorite. Oh yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say when you know that they're having fun, the fun that they have just goes through the screen to your brain.
Yeah, I can absolutely see that. One of my favorite choices in the movie is just how well every scene is structured and flows into each other. I think the one that stuck in my head throughout the entire movie, because it got me really good, was the first scene in which we see Ramona outside of a fantasy. Is when he's at the library with Knives,
right?
And he's kind of bringing down the books, and then he sees her and freezes, and he's freezing there for a minute, and then Steven Stills, the one of his other band members who is not in that scene, pops up from out of frame and goes, "Pilgrim," and he snaps back into reality, and he's at practice.
Yeah, it's Edgar Wright just is really good in terms of scene transitions. Oh yeah. It's been a while since I saw it. I probably should have seen it again for this episode. But Every Frame of Painting made a video about Edgar Wright, which is an amazing video, and I recommend everyone to watch it. And they had a part in the video that was talking about his transition, and pretty much all that they had to say about that were scenes taken from Scott Pilgrim vs. The World, which are so smooth and so funny. Like he managed to put jokes everywhere, including just scene transitions.
Yeah.
which is kind of amazing. My personal favorite scene from the movie is a very short one, but it's just I rarely laughed that much at a movie. It's the scene. It's a scene where he learns that Knives is coming over.
Oh my
After
God.
they've broken up.
Yep.
And so his roommate, played by Kieran Culkin, opens the door, and she's like, "Hey, is Scott here? You know what?" And then Scott just jumps through a window. He just laughed, and it's the way it's made.
Yeah, it's just like
it's just so.
Is Scott here? You know what? And he kind of moves like in front of the window, but you just see Scott like like right through the window. Oh.
It's so like unexpected and absurd. It's so funny, and it's like about 2 years ago was the 10th anniversary of Scott Pilgrim. So Edgar Wright put a lot of videos from like behind the scenes stuff like that on his Twitter. And one of those videos was when they were preparing that scene, and they just made kind of like a smaller version of the apartment with like cardboard box, and they just had like a fake cardboard door and everything, just had a hole as a window, and they practiced it with the stunt double, and it almost works just as well in the making of video as in the movie itself. It's just such a funny joke.
Yeah, it's just a great joke through and through.
Yeah.
But I guess. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say, like, I mentioned him. We need to talk about him. His roommate.
I was about to do the same thing.
Right. All right. He is. I think he's my favorite character. He's mine
too. Literally, I have the note sitting on my phone that Wallace is my favorite character. Yeah.
He's so funny. Because he's like, so the joke is that he's his gay roommate, so they make a lot of jokes about that. One of the joke is that he steals Scott's sister's boyfriend in one night.
Yeah, that one's really good. But yeah, Wallace is one of my absolute favorite characters in this movie because of just how well his dynamic works with Scott. And just a lot of the like visual jokes we get with him. Well, like one of the ones I really enjoy is there are scenes where Scott will wake up from like a dream or just kind of like jolt out of his sleep, and every time we see that, Wallace is either with another guy, or he pops up with like my favorite one is when he pops up with like two other dudes in the bed. And Scott's like, or like Scott pops up and he's just like, oh, and the guy goes, "Are you sure you're not gay? You didn't even sleep with her." Oh my god!
It's like they make a joke related to the fact that he's gay, but even more than that, he's just got such a sarcastic personality, which is hilarious.
He's just fantastic.
He's amazing.
Like
there's a scene.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
There's a scene where they go to a concert and the band plays a song that's like 5 seconds long, and he's just like, "Not a race, guys." It just that kind of stuff. Yeah, not hilarious.
That's one of the jokes that because that joke stays in the graphic novel. And that's probably my favorite joke from the graphic novel because it's just so well paced out, because it's the same in the movie. It is the same joke, but it's just like it's just not a race, guys, and it's just like, all right, this next song goes out to the guy who's been yelling at us from the from the balcony. It's called "We Hate You, Please Die." It's incredible.
I love it. It's hold on, let me just look at my notes to see what else I have. The fights. Gotta talk about the fights.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
I love.
They're like those.
I guess we could go through. I I guess each one of them and just bring up just how good each of them are, because there's something to say about every one of them.
Right. Well, the first one is against, I don't remember his name.
It's Matthew Patel.
Yeah, Matthew Patel. Yeah. So who's the first ex who is Indian, so they make a lot of like Bollywood references, that kind of stuff. He's got like those like those emo looking girls behind him.
Yeah.
He's got this whole Bollywood choreography.
One of my favorites is Wallace like screams out. He's like, "Is he dressed up like a pirate?" And the guy and someone else goes like, "Yeah, is that a pirate? And are you a pirate?" And Scott like looks at him and goes, "Are you a pirate?" And then Patel just goes, "Pirates are in this year."
But that fight I feel is kind of like kind of basic compared to the other ones, because it's the one that introduces the concept of the evil Axis, so it kind of had to. But it works really well, and the special effects for whether it's that fight or any other fight are just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
They're really, really great. Then we've got an amazing scene with the second ace with that's Lucas Lee, that's played by Chris Evans, and he played that like a skateboarder that became an actor. And he just like he's the kind of celebrity cliche that just loves himself so much. And like there's a scene where his roommate tells him, like Wallace tells him, "I'm a big fan." Why wouldn't you be?
Yeah.
It's honestly my favorite Chris Evans performance of all time. He's so good at that.
He's perfect. Just why wouldn't you be?
There's also something that I thought was incredibly creative, which is since he's an actor, like for action movies, there's a big part of the fight that's like Scott fighting against him and his stunt doubles, which is genius. I think it's an amazing idea, and the whole fight just works so well. But the best part is definitely the climax. They bring back the fact that he's a skateboarder, and they see a ramp. Scott goes to him and says, "Can you go down that? Can you do a thingy on that ramp?" And then Chris Evans is like, "Yeah, watch me." Then he does and fucking dies.
Yeah, he keeps going faster and keeps cutting back to Scott and Wallace, and Scott just goes, "Whoa."
And then he just fucking explodes.
And he explodes.
That's the thing is like they kind of all die.
Yeah, they all die.
Like
all the exes die, which is really funny to me.
It is really funny. But that's for that fight. Then the next fight.
Oh, next one
is my favorite.
I was about to say it might be my favorite as well.
So it's against Todd Ingram, who's played by Brendan Ruth, who played Superman in the movie Superman Returns, and he basically, the whole joke about him is that he's vegan, and that gives him psychic powers.
It's so funny.
It's like already that.
Yeah. Oh my god, we haven't even brought up Envy yet.
Oh my god, we haven't even. Yeah.
Okay. Other than Wallace.
Yeah.
I don't know how, like obviously I haven't been into the movie long, so I don't know what the consensus is. Envy might be my other favorite side character. Like she, like in terms of characters that are there for not a long time, I really love Brie Larson as Envy.
She's really good.
There's a lot of things that attribute to that. Like I love her introduction, like because like you get like glimpses of like Scott saying Envy's name. Like throughout the movie before she's brought up, and then he picks up the phone, and then and she goes like, "Hi, Scott," and he goes, "Envy," and you just hear Wallace go, "Oh shit," before it like fades in to just those two talking.
Yeah, it's kind of cool how they like kind of foreshadow her as kind of like a menace to the story, kind of like a side villain who doesn't really end up being a villain besides the Evil X thing. But
Yeah.
I like the fact that they foreshadow her a lot, and then when they show her, then there's a lot of really good scenes between her and Scott.
Oh yeah, which her best scene probably honestly might be like a runner up for one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie is her like formal introduction, which is like her on the stage with her band, playing Black Sheep by Metric, which is a very good song. And Brie Larson has incredible vocals on that, like to the point where I've seen comments from people who are like, I want to be a part of the alternate universe where Brie Larson was an alt rock singer.
Yeah, honestly, same. She's really good.
She's really good. Yeah, and the song is like way better than it has any right to be. But anyway,
I kind of forgot about the song. Then I listened to it. And I was like, oh shit. Was it that good before? Holy shit, that's good.
Like it builds. My favorite part is that it builds up, and it's like, oh yeah. Scott goes, oh yeah, that's Todd, and Ramon just goes, I know, and Scott just goes, oh, and like right before the climax of the song, he just goes, oh no, like as he realizes that that's the next Evil X, and then the song just kicks in with Envy being under the spotlight, and it's like, damn, that is just such a good moment. Oh my god,
it's really great. And then you've got the scene where they fight, which is you know, the choreography is pretty similar to the other ones, except there's a couple of scenes like Scott going through like multiple walls, and then you've got a scene that I really like, which is them having a bass battle, and I have to say, I don't know if they were. I know Michael Cera plays bass, and I know he was actually playing bass throughout the movie. I don't know about Brandon Ruth. I'm not sure.
I don't know either.
But if that's the case, then he is a better bass player than Michael Cera.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, if this were like an actual fight, he'd be getting dusted on. Like
yeah. But that is a very fun scene, and then Todd wins the base battle, and then Scott is like almost KO'd until he's like, all right, well, you got me. Should we drink to that? And then he just gives him like a cup of coffee, and then Todd's like, I'm not gonna fall for that. I know you put some milk, some cow milk in that. I'm gonna take the other cup, which has soy milk. And then he takes a sip, and Scott's like, well, actually, I was really thinking about putting it in that cup, but I ended up changing minds. So you just drank cow milk. And then, like, the fucking SWAT comes in, which is,
and
like,
the vegan police.
The vegan police, who's like, we're going to arrest you, bitch. And
take away his vegan powers.
and he's like, wait, don't I have 3 strikes? This is my first one. No, you ate gelato before. That's not vegan. It's milk and eggs, bitch. Yeah. And then they're like, you also ate some chicken parmesan. Chicken's not vegan.
I really like. Yeah. By the way, when they say like, you knowingly ingested chicken parmesan, like Envy looks at him like.
Yeah, and there's also like when the police go, they just like high five in slow motion. They're like, "Yay!" Yeah, it's just so out of nowhere. It makes no sense, but it's hilarious. And I feel like this scene is kind of like it kind of feels like he didn't know how to end the fight, and so he just added that.
Yeah,
but it's just so funny. It's like,
so funny. Cares? It's so funny that I don't care. Like if that was if that was like the actual reason, I don't care. It's too funny.
So funny.
But another so I guess this is kind of the part of the movie where Scott starts to kind of like doubt his quest of fighting for Ramona. And at that time they go to a bar and he is randomly attacked by the fourth evil X. 1 second, what was her name? Roxy.
Roxy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who is a girl instead of being a guy?
Yeah, which they've been alluding to throughout the entire movie.
Yeah.
By every time Scott says like ex boyfriends, Ramona keeps correcting him to exes.
Yeah. Because as Ramona says, she had a phase, so that happened.
Which sets up to my favorite bit of wordplay in the movie, which is you said just a phase, and Roxy goes, "Oh, it was just a phase." She was like, "Yeah, I had a bi-curious phase," and she's like, "Well, I'm bi-furious," and then he scissor kicks Scott.
Yeah, yeah. It's that was a really good. I really like that fight because it's the first fight in the entire movie where Scott isn't the only one to fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because Ramona joins in as well,
which is just a really good fight overall.
It's really nice.
That kind of ends, and Scott's kind of like, he's starting to get really tired of it by now. He's just like, all right, well, give me a list, and then he's handed a list, and it's like, okay, who are the Katayanagi twins, and that's our next fight, which is an electronic band duo that Sex Bob-omb must battle in the next Battle of the Bands thing. During this fight, I would say the twins are kind of like a stepping stone to the next or to the last evil X, because they're not really given their own spotlight, really.
No, I'm pretty sure they don't even say anything.
No, they do not have speaking roles.
Yeah.
So we get like it's just kind of a stepping stone to the final boss. Pretty much, we have Gideon, played by Jason Schwartzman, who does a great job and looks like the evil version of his character from Rushmore.
He kind of does, yeah. I was gonna say that's definitely his best non-Wes Anderson role.
Oh, I agree. It's so funny.
Yeah, it's so good because he's like he's a very evil villain and everything, but he's also kind of a nerd, which is a very funny like contrast. And he's a really good character. I think he's a great villain.
Yeah.
And he's the one who created the League of the Evil X's, and he kind of like traps Ramona, and so Scott tries to save her like Mario has to save the princess from Bowser, which is kind of like a whole like video game reference.
Yeah,
that was kind of hidden, and that's a really they even like make another joke about that, which is how so Scott goes to fight Gideon, and then he gets killed by Gideon, and he just comes back to do the scene to do the fight again.
Yeah,
exactly. Like a final boss fight.
Yeah, he goes in to fight. He goes into Gideon's club to fight him, and after saying that he loves Ramona, gains the power of love in the form of a sword, and he fails. And during his moment of failure, he is come to by Ramona in a dream, telling him, basically like, or just kind of asking him like, what have you been like really fighting for this whole time? And he wakes up again with the 1-up that he acquired during the twins fight, and so he goes out into the club again. This time, admitting all of his wrongdoings to everyone, telling Knives that he cheated on her with Ramona, telling Kim that he's sorry for everything that any hurt that he may have caused, telling Neil that he's a much better bassist for Sex Bob-omb. I really like the line, by the way, where he says, where he's like, You are no longer young Neil. You are Neil.
Which is a logical thing to happen.
Yeah, and then he gains the power of self-respect in the form of another sword, and then this time he wins. And right as he's about to walk out with Knives and Ramona, they are interrupted by Nega Scott, which is something we haven't talked about because it's foreshadowed by this ninja game that that Scott and Knives play in the beginning, in which the ninja like fights an anti version of himself, and Scott just gives up and he's like, I'm never able to beat him. And so like it's like it hypes the whole like Nega Scott fight up with him walking up and going, "This is my fight." And then like Ramona, it cuts to Ramona and Knives waiting outside, and Scott and Nega Scott walk out like just shooting the shit. And he's just like, all right,
talking about getting brunch.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll see you next week, bud. And he just walks up. He's like, yeah, he's a really cool guy. We have a lot in common.
Which is funny because like having a dark version of your character is kind of like another gaming reference that like kind of comes back in a lot of different games, and it's another Zelda reference because that's probably the most obvious example. Finding Dark Link in Ocarina of Time, and that's just such a funny scene.
Oh yeah, no, it's incredible. And then there's kind of a. This is okay. So I would say this is where my only criticism of the movie comes in. The only one I have, which is I just don't see Scott and Ramona getting back together. I just don't see it. Like, to me, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So what happens is after defeating other Scott, Scott like walks up and talks to the both of them, and Ramona basically says like, okay, I'm sorry that I'm distant, and I'm a shitty person, and we're both just kind of shitty people. And she's like, so I don't think this is gonna work, and so she leaves. And just as Scott is about to walk off with Knives is like, you've been fighting for her this whole time, just go get her. And then he does, and him and Ramona live happily ever after, presumably. And so there is an alternate ending that I found out about today where Scott ends up with Knives instead. I don't think I see that either. I think
no. Well, so
I think the movie works, or at least Scott growing as a character just kind of works better if he didn't end up with either of them, which is not it and it's just like, it's obviously like it's just a fun movie. It's not really much to think about, but it's just kind of something that kept I don't know, eating at my mind while I was watching the movie. I'm like, I just don't see it, because it's obvious that like Scott and Ramona, like obviously throughout the movies, like we have some good scenes with them, but as a couple, do we really even see much chemistry between them?
A little bit,
I'd say. But I would say he has more. I would say he has more chemistry with Knives throughout the scenes of them like having fun together, and especially during the last fight, which is not me saying that I think he should end up. It's not me saying I think he should end up with Knives, because I think that's weird too.
Yeah. Well, see, the thing is that like in the relationship Scott and Knives is definitely much more in love than Scott.
Oh yeah.
But with Scott and Ramona, Scott is definitely a lot more in love than Ramona.
Yeah.
So that's there isn't one like really good relation in
it's just they're both
that movie.
They're both foundations for a relationship that just doesn't look like it would work out well.
But the thing as well is that, like, I get why they went with Scott goes back with Ramona.
Oh, I
'cause
guess so too. Yeah.
he just spent the entire movie like fighting 7 evil exes to for her. So it kind of makes sense that in the end, the whole movie being like highly video game influence, it makes sense that he gets the girl at the end because that's how a lot of game ends.
Yeah, it makes sense. It definitely makes sense for the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do think that I do agree with you that him ending alone would have been like the healthy end.
The healthy end.
the healthy. Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's I mean, other than that, I really have no other qualms with this movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's just good.
I mean, I've seen a lot of people say that they don't like it because Scott is an asshole, but it's like he's an asshole, but that's the point.
That's kind of the point, yeah.
But I know a lot of people don't like movies where the main character is not likable.
It's fair. I mean, I would say Scott's likable, despite the fact that he's an asshole.
Well, yeah, that depends on the scene.
Depends on the scene, for sure.
Definitely depends on the scene. But I feel like sometimes it can be really interesting to make a movie about a like very bad person as the main character, and this is a lot of movies that do what Scott Pilgrim does, which is create a whole journey where he gets better at the end and he becomes a better person. So that kind of makes sense.
Trying to think of any other notes I have. Let's see. I think that might be it for me. Like, other than just like the obvious, like the editing is fantastic, the comedy is great.
It's like obvious that Edgar Wright is really good with like editing and with rhythm, that kind of stuff. And it's made extremely obvious with Baby Driver, but in Scott Pilgrim, I think it's like his editing is just always on point, and Scott Pilgrim is one of the best examples. But yeah, no, same as you. I don't really have much more to say about that.
Yeah.
There is I did have a like that my weird like Criterion fan had a thought during the movie, which is like, it's worth seeing that guy and to think that this guy is a massive Ozu fan. It's because like that's the thing you don't expect, but Michael Cera is a massive cinephile.
Oh yeah,
he's big on Ozu and Kiarostami and those directors. I was really surprised when I saw his Criterion Closet video. It's like he talks about Close Up and Good Morning, and he's got like a lot of stuff to say about both of those movies.
Yeah, I remember. I think I saw that one. It's a very interesting. It's a very interesting Criterion Closet to see.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. Yeah. But yeah, that's it for Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yeah. So I guess now we could get into just kind of things we've seen recently. I'll go first since I know yours is a lot longer because
I've seen a lot of movies recently.
Yeah, in the last while I did not actually watch a whole lot at all. I saw I saw the last 2 bits of the Netflix Kanye documentary Genius, which I liked the second part a lot, and the third part was pretty good. It wasn't like as, I guess, immersive as the first 2, but overall I think it's a really fantastic documentary. I saw another Netflix documentary. I watched it with my mom actually, called The Tinder Swindler. And I thought it was okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I thought it was okay. It really
right.
It was a pretty bonkers story, but it's just kind of like at the end of the day, it's like it's an all right.
It seems like a very basic Netflix documentary.
Yeah, it's very much just filler, just kind of filler content to watch. Like it kept my brain entertained.
Right.
The other I'll put in one more thing that I've been watching for the last couple weeks before I get into the big thing. And I started the show Lost with my roommate.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the legendary J.J. Abrams created story, and I think it is fantastic so far. And I really hope that JJ doesn't, because I don't know anything about the story. Like, I've avoided spoilers ever since it ended. But I really hope that JJ doesn't pull kind of what he's pulled for every other major thing he's been involved in, which is creating really good mysteries that don't have answers. So I hope that's different in Lost. I don't know. But it's pretty good so far. I'm about halfway through season 1. But the big thing that I saw in a very good way was The Batman, directed by Matt Reeves, which I'm sure you saw this on Twitter because I posted about it. But a few friends of mine and I got early access tickets to see the movie on the Monday before it came out.
Motherfucker.
And we got it. We actually got it. This is great. We got it through our school of all things.
What? Really?
Yeah. We all got an email that was, or not an email. We got it on like a Discord server for our film school that we're all a part of. And we just saw a thing. It's like, oh yeah, sign up here and you get. Sign up here, and if you get there early enough, you might get a seat for the movie.
Huh.
And it was free. And so we were like, oh, word? So we all, a whole group of us, like 8 people, got tickets and got to the theater at like maybe 3 p.m. And I don't think the movie started until like 7. So we waited there for a while, but we were among the first to get in, so we saw the movie, and I thought it was fantastic. Which is it. It's not that I thought it wasn't gonna be good, but it was one of those things where it's like, with a lot of comic book movies nowadays, I'm starting to get not fatigue, but just kind of a general feeling of like, I don't know if it's gonna be as good. But in general, I think it's fantastic. I think it's like probably It's gonna sound like hyperbole when I say this, but it's probably my favorite Batman movie. But it's really, really great, and if I'm not mistaken, I think you've seen it too, right?
I have, yeah. I saw it in theaters with my brothers and some friend. And I wouldn't go as far as to say that's my favorite. I do prefer The Dark Knight.
I would say I would prefer The Dark Knight if I didn't think Christian Bale's Batman was not as good as Robert Pattinson's.
That's true.
I'm not a big fan of the whole voice that Christian Bale puts on. I think he's fine. I like Christian Bale, but
I don't hate it, but Robert Pattinson is better. And I did think it was a bit too long.
Yeah,
I feel like 3 hours was too much.
I talked about it with my one of my professors who specializes in editing, and she was like, I thought it was really good, but I probably would have cut out some things. And I was like, yeah, that sounds about right.
Sounds about right. I feel if it had been maybe 2.5 hours, that would have been better. 3 hours is a bit much.
It's a bit much. But like, even then, I would say it's probably one of the more consistently engaging 3 hour long movies that I've seen. Because there are some
good scenes.
What was that?
I just said there are some good scenes.
Oh yeah, there are some great scenes. It's like, I was gonna bring up that like a lot of other 3+ hour long movies that I've seen have had that problem of having a moment where like it felt significantly more like just kind of it felt like it dragged significantly more than usual. But I think the Batman pulled it off very well. And so I think, yeah, I'm trying to think of other things to say about it. I think Paul Dano is the...
Well, I gotta talk about... Yeah,
Paul Dano
that's
is
what
the
I was gonna
Riddler.
say, yeah.
Is just incredible.
He's fantastic.
He is very, very good.
I think this was even maybe the first film I saw with Paul Dano. I'm not... No, hold on. Have I seen... No, never mind. He was in Okja by Bong Joon-ho,
yeah.
but he had a pretty small role in that. So, I've seen a lot of stuff, like a lot of interviews and stuff like that with him. I've never actually seen a movie with him until that he had a big role until the Batman. He's really good.
He's really good.
Fucking good.
The only movie I had seen with him before this was Little Miss Sunshine, which is another great movie. But yeah, he has a great part in that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he does a very good job, and my friends and I have been talking about him ever since we saw the movie.
Yeah. It's like the scene where he just starts like screaming at Batman because he thought they would team up.
No!
It's
no! This is not how it was supposed to go. Oh my god, I love him. That clip has been... I think I've seen that clip at least once a day ever since the movie came out. It's so
fucking good.
It's so good. It's so good. Even like, okay, in the movie, it's great. Out of context of the movie, it is so funny. Like it is such a funny clip.
Oh yeah,
I'm in love with it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's overall a very, very good time. I don't think there's a single performance that I didn't like.
Yeah.
But
it's the funny thing is, so Andy Serkis plays Alfred in that movie, and I forgot that he did until I saw the movie, and I saw him come on stream. I was like, "Oh shit, it's Andy Serkis!" I'm a big fan. I really like him.
Yeah.
He's always great to see, and he gave kind of like a kind of younger and more badass Alfred than what's the guy in the Dark Knight trilogy?
Is it Michael Caine?
Michael Caine, yeah. But yeah, he was really good. That was really great.
Yeah. So that was what I saw, but I know,
right?
I know for a fact that you saw a lot more.
Fuck, man. All right, I'm not gonna talk about every single film that I've seen because I have seen 30 movies since the last episode. I'm not gonna talk about every single one of them because there are certain movies that are more worth talking about than others. I'm mostly gonna focus on the movies that I watched in preparation for the Oscars that are going to be the one that we're recording this. They're going to be this Sunday.
Yeah.
So I did watch a couple of them. And I've still got quite a lot to watch until this ceremony. I'm going to do like a lot of that this weekend. But yeah, so to get started, I watched The Worst Person in the World. So it was in theaters like this summer, and then it stopped. They stopped showing it, and then it was nominated for a couple Oscars, and they were like, all right, let's bring it back. And so I missed it in this summer, but I got to see it in February, and it's really good.
Oh yeah.
Good. It has been like almost a month since I saw it, so I don't remember everything. No, actually, it has been over a month because I was supposed to talk about it for the previous episode, but we skipped that. And yeah, it's a very good movie. I I don't know if you plan on mentioning that, but I'm gonna say it now. It has been announced that this movie is gonna come out in the Criterion Collection.
Yeah, it was actually. I was gonna suggest.
Yeah.
I was gonna suggest we talk about that after you're ready to, or
Right.
after you're done with your movies that you saw, because it's a pretty stacked month this June.
Pretty good month.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, there's a lot that's really good about it. And I'm very happy that it was nominated for the categories, and I think it deserves them. Then I saw Encanto, the new Disney movie.
What did you think of Encanto?
Hold on, I wrote a review, so I'm just gonna read. Yeah, all right, that's what I thought. It's the same recipe, but with different ingredients. It's the exact same story that Disney has been telling us since the 90s, but with different ingredients. And as always, since the 90s, it works. I liked it. It's definitely not the best Disney movie, definitely not the most memorable one, but it was a good time.
Yeah,
I did think that the resolution of the story, that's my main issue with it. The resolution of the story was way too quick.
It's way too fast.
Like
it's
the house falls down, and then 5 minutes later it's back up.
Literally it is a resolution in like 10 minutes, if even that.
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah,
whoa.
that was. It's like the house fell down, and was like, but there's so little time left of the movie.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. The same thing. I was like, what?
Oh, there's also the last song of the movie. I don't remember the name. Is, I think, and I hate to say that because it's Lin-Manuel Miranda, and I really like him. One of the worst, if not the worst, Disney songs I've heard in years.
Really? Which one?
In terms of lyrics.
Which one was it?
The last one, where it's like the resolution of the story, and they're like, hey guys, it's Bruno, he's back, that kind of stuff. It's just like what the lyrics are basically just what the characters are feeling in the least poetic and melodic way I've ever seen in any song. It's just like, this is how I feel, and this is how I feel, and this is how I feel. It's just that, and it's very bad.
Okay, and I know the opinion isn't shared by a lot of people, but I think I think this might be the weakest Lin-Manuel Miranda soundtrack I've ever heard. Because like, I think We Don't Talk About Bruno, obviously, as a song, is really good. But in my opinion, that was kind of the only memorable one, like the only one that like really kind of like stuck in me. I'm like, okay, this is a good tune. But the rest of them just kind of floated on by, which it's like, which is like, I had a go ahead. Mine leads into a whole nother tangent.
Right. Well, I don't think it's that much of an underrated take. I feel like a lot of people would agree with you, and I definitely do.
That's good. Yeah. But it was something else I realized while I was watching the movie, in that in a certain way, sometimes I feel like my time has passed with a lot of these animated movies, because you know, obviously if the target audience for Encanto loves Encanto, then it's like, you know what, it's probably just a good movie.
Yeah.
And I just can't see it because I'm not the person that Encanto was made for. And I felt that more than anything than in the past week or so with the release of Turning Red. Because I didn't see the movie, nor do I want to see the movie. Let me clarify. Because
I mean, fair enough.
Yeah, I was talking about it with one of my friends, and he was like, "It just doesn't look good." And I'm like, "Yeah, it doesn't really look good." I sat there and I was like, "Yeah, I don't really want to watch a movie about a bunch of teenage girls and their humor." And I just went, "Oh, I understand now." I was like, I don't want to watch that because I'm not a teenage girl. I'm the furthest thing from that demographic right now. Like, I don't want to see that because that's just not the type of movie that I'm gonna find entertaining. And it's obvious that like movies that are made for that demographic can be entertaining to a lot of people, but like if it's done well, like there are a lot of girl movies that I think are fantastic. Like obviously demographic isn't a thing that always has to, be the same. Or it doesn't have to be your defining factor when it comes to a movie, but when it comes to kids movies especially, I feel like demographic is a big thing you have to take into account. Because it's like, if like with all the trailers that I saw, with every joke I just kept going, oh yeah, I don't really like that. And then I kept thinking, I'm like, well, there's probably some kid who's like just laughing their head off at that. No, that's cool. And yeah, it's just I thought about that recently. I'm like, yeah, I'll probably see it sometime in the future, like when I have kids. Like when I have kids, and they're like, you want to watch, Dad? Let's watch Turning Red. I'll be like, yeah, okay. But as it stands right now, I don't think I really want to know.
Yeah. I mean, that's a better opinion than those idiots on Twitter who are like, oh, this movie is not made for me. Disney, make more movies for me.
It's like you're like, most of the people who talk about that are like either like nearly full-grown men or full-grown men, and it's like, I don't know what you want. Like you're going to a Disney movie. It's made for kids. Obviously, like those movies can be entertaining to adults. I still think that way about a lot of Pixar's movies. But like it by and large, it's not for you. And you're gonna sit here, and it's the same reason why like a kid wouldn't enjoy like a grown-up movie. Like they're gonna be sitting there watching Citizen Kane. They don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah,
because it's different. It's different worlds. It's just something that some people, I guess, just don't want to talk about, or not even that they don't want to talk about. It's just some people just want to be angry at something, and I don't see the use in being angry at something that wasn't made for me.
Yeah. I feel like this movie, more than any Disney or Pixar movie in the last couple of years, had like some of the worst takes I've ever seen.
Oh my god! Yeah.
And the worst one was so the whole movie is just a giant analogy on puberty.
Yeah.
And there's a scene that's where they mention periods, and they mention, I don't know if that's what's happening or that's what they think is happening, that the main character is having her periods for the first time. And people are like, periods in my Disney movie? What is that? What is going on? And they treat it as if it was like sex or like some very adult stuff. It's stuff that happens to like 11 and 12 year olds.
Yeah, it's a human thing. I'm gonna be honest. Sure, I'm glad that they're making that more talked about, because you want to know something? When I was a kid, nobody would tell me a damn thing about periods. I remember my like older cousins would like talk about tampons or something, and I'd be like, "Oh, what is that? What's that for?" And they'll be like, "Oh, you don't gotta know." Even when I was like 14. Like, when I was at the age where you should probably know, it was like maybe 13. It was like when you're at the age where it's like, that's something you should know. I didn't want to look it up.
Right.
So it's just like, I relied on talking to my family, and I was like, what is it? And they're like, it doesn't,
right.
You don't gotta know. And I'm like, yeah, I do. Eventually I figured it out, but I'm like, damn, this would have been really helpful to know, like a very like essential part of the opposite gender's human experience. So
yeah.
Like if that's where they want to go with it, I mean, it's something that kids are gonna deal with. So I don't know, why not talk about it? Obviously, don't go crazy about it, but it's the same thing about every other like semi-adult issue that's brought up in kids' movies.
Yeah.
But I remember But yeah, I remember that being a thing where, like, I remember someone brought it up on Twitter. And I was like, oh, okay. And? But yeah, anyway.
But yeah, I think that's it for Encanto. Next.
Yeah.
Next, my friend, we have to talk about something because I watched Don't Look Up.
Oh my god, I forgot! Oh, I forgot you watched Don't Look Up. Oh.
I have seen Don't Look Up, and I did not like it.
Oh, dude. Okay, so
yeah.
As of recording this, obviously it's going to be released probably next week.
Yeah.
The Oscars are this Sunday, and Phil and I will have already streamed them together. Which I'm very excited about. But we live in a world right now where we don't know if Don't Look Up won any Oscars. That's terrifying to me.
All right. I just want to predict one Oscar that I really feel like it's gonna win.
Yeah.
And I think that's Best Editing.
No.
Just because
no.
if Bohemian Rhapsody could win Best Editing, then this movie can.
That's fair, but like,
and I really have the feeling that they're gonna do the exact same thing.
I would lose all faith in the Oscars in the editing category forever, because like, this is genuinely one of the worst edited movies I've ever seen. Like, I don't know if I mentioned this in my original like breakdown of Don't Look Up, like a couple episodes ago, but there are shots where the camera just turns to, or like where like there are scenes where the editing cuts to just random stock footage for like a minute.
Yeah.
And it's the most puzzling shit I've ever seen. It's like, why? And so that
has no reason to be there.
It has no reason to be there, and it has even less of a reason to win Best Editing. And that would be so funny. So obviously the future, right now, the future tells all of us the truth. But I don't know if I'm ready to hear it.
there is a scene, I don't remember what it was, but I do remember watching a scene and being like, whoa, what the fuck is that? What? Because of the editing.
Yeah.
Which is usually something that I never really think of, that I never really notice when I watch a movie.
It's like, editing and audio are the things that you're not supposed to know, or not supposed to notice, because it's supposed to feel natural. But you only notice it when it's either really good or it's really bad.
There are some things that I did like about the movie, though. I actually really liked the end,
where they all died.
The last the scene where they're all like just eating dinner, waiting for basically for them to die. I thought the scene was actually pretty good.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. Yeah, I remember.
I thought the conversation, there was something kind of touching about that. I liked it.
Yeah, it was like a fine moment. I remember thinking, I'm like, yeah, this would probably work better in a movie that set it up well.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's another one, like, it's been a while since I saw it, so I don't remember everything that I really have to complain about it.
Yeah.
It's not great.
No, it's
not, I don't like it.
It's not good, and it's nominated for Best Picture. Like, I still I don't think I'm ever going to be able to get over that for the entirety of my life, because every year that there's been a Best Picture nominee, it's like all of them have either been like just okay or like good. But this is the first time that I've ever seen a nomination that's just awful. It's like, really?
Yeah.
But what so yeah, what other stuff have you seen?
Well, then, so in terms of Oscar nominated movies, I went like pretty much a whole month without watching anything until yesterday, where I was like, oh shit, the Oscars are this Sunday. I've seen 3 of the Best Picture nominees. I should probably watch a few of them. So yesterday I watched both The Power of the Dog and Coda.
Oh wow.
Um, so the power. I'm gonna start with the Power of the Dog, which is the new Jane Campion movie with Benedict Cumberbatch. It's pretty good. I'm not usually a fan of Western movies, but that one, I thought the story was really good. I do have an issue with it. Um, it has the most boring first 30 minutes I've ever seen in a movie.
Really?
Like, all right, so I finished the movie yesterday, but I started it like a few weeks ago, because I was like, yeah, let's see how it is. And then I watched 30 minutes and I was like, yeah, I can't do this. This is so boring. And it turns out that once you're through the first 30 minutes, everything starts to get a lot better, a lot more interesting. The story in general, I think, is really good. Benedict Cumberbatch is really good. Kirsten Dunst she plays like an alcoholic, and she's really good. Everyone did a really good job on that movie. There were some shots that were like just stunning. They were really, really great. And yeah, unfortunately, there is that first part of the movie that I really wasn't into. But in general, that's a really good movie.
Okay, that's good.
And then for Coda. So Coda is a really interesting movie because I don't see anyone talking about that because I don't think a lot of people are aware of that. But Coda is a remake of a French movie that came out a couple of years ago.
Oh yeah, I did see something about that.
Yeah, and it's a movie that I saw in music classes when I was in high school.
Oh.
And I wasn't a big fan. I wasn't a big fan of that movie because I thought it was just so cheesy. And it's the types of movie that are like cry to our sad movie. It's like a film that's trying so hard to make you cry.
Yeah, be sad.
So I was scared that that Coda was gonna be even worse. Turns out it's actually much better than the original.
Wow.
Coda is actually really good.
That's great.
Yeah. So it's sorry, the story in itself is nothing like nothing crazy. It's a very basic story and it's pretty predictable. But I don't know what it is. I don't know what they do, but it just works. They just managed to do it really well.
That's good.
Yeah. Oh, and Troy Kotzer, who plays the dad. So I don't know if you know the story of the movie.
Somewhat.
So basically, the story of the movie is it's about this girl who is a CODA, child of deaf adults. So she's the only one in her family who is not deaf, and so she's basically like translating everything for her family. But the twist is that she is a great singer and has a love for singing and music, and she wants to go to Berklee College of Music. And so that's kind of like this interesting story of how does her family feel about that and everything. And so the dad and the family played by Troy Kotzer, that's the thing, all of the deaf characters are played by actual deaf actors, which I think is great.
Oh, that's
and
great.
And that guy just gives he just gives such an amazing performance. He's so good.
That's great.
They're all really good, but like I think he's won like a Golden Globe, a BAFTA, a SAG award. He's won everything, and a lot of people think that he's gonna win for best actor in a side role, and I really am rooting for him.
Is he nominated this year at the Oscars?
Yeah, he
fantastic.
is. Yeah.
That's probably, I think that's the one I'll watch then, because I've seen at this current moment I've seen 5 of the Oscar nominations, and I'm not really interested in Belfast, and I'm not really interested in not really interested in King Richard, but I'll probably watch Coda. Like I was thinking just in general, I'm probably just gonna watch Coda and Flea, the best animated Best Animated nominee. Because those are the two that I'm most interested in checking out from this year. Which, speaking of just catching up on the Oscars, did you watch Drive My Car?
I'm gonna watch it soon.
Ooh, yeah.
So I've got a whole. I gotta get that one. I've got a whole plan as to what I'm gonna watch. I've seen 4 of the 10 nominees. I don't have the time to watch the 6 others, so I had to take out 2 movies. I decided to go with Belfast and King Richard because they really don't interest me.
Yeah.
I really don't care about watching them. So tonight, once we're done recording, I'm gonna watch West Side Story. Tomorrow, so Friday, I'm gonna watch Licorice Pizza and Drive My Car.
Oh, that's a day. That's a day right there.
and then I'm gonna see if I'm gonna like do one a day or 2 in the same day. But I'm gonna also watch Nightmare Alley and what's the last one? Is that all? No, never mind. I think that's it. That's all of them. Yeah. If I had the time, I might watch Belfast because I think it's like just an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So I might try to get it out of the way so I have like 9 out of 10.
It's just a little over an hour and a half. Yeah, if you want to, you could fit that in.
If I have the time, like Sunday, I'll try to watch it.
Yeah.
Why not? But yeah, so tonight I'm gonna be watching West Side Story. I'm very excited about that. I've heard so much good stuff about it. I do wish that I had seen the original before that, but I don't have the time, so I'm not gonna do that. But yeah.
So yeah, are there any other movies you want to mention?
There is one last movie that I would like to talk about. Okay. It's a movie that really surprised me. So our last episode was about Her by Spike Jonze. Mm-hmm. And I thought, you know what? I should probably watch another movie by Spike Jonze. That would be cool. And I was like, oh, he made Being John Malkovich. Yeah, I've heard a lot of stuff about that. That's probably going to be good. So I saw it.
Okay.
And now I'm not sure exactly where I would put it, but it's at least in my top 15 favorite movies of all time.
Really? Ooh.
I fucking loved it. Holy shit, that was good.
That's good to hear.
And it's so I don't know if you want to like if you have anything to say about that, but
I haven't seen John Malkovich, so
no, but what I was about to say is this month Criterion did a flash sale.
Oh,
I don't know if you got anything, but I did. So you didn't? All right. Well, I'm just gonna quickly mention the movies that I got. Yeah. So I got 6 movies, and I went very bold for that one. I got 6 movies, 5 blind buys.
Ooh.
So, and the one non-blind buy was Being John Malkovich. Besides that, I bought Barry Lyndon, Blue Velvet. Yes. Yes. I like Do the Right Thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do the Right
Thing.
Thing.
Do the Right Thing.
Stalker and Ikiru.
Oh, that's awesome.
So far I've seen I might as well talk about them. I've seen Blue Velvet, which was probably my favorite David Lynch so far. That was really good. Cal MacLachlan was really good in that. I saw Do the Right Thing. Ooh, holy shit.
I know, right?
Oh man, that was, and I like what I didn't know about the Criterion version is that in the book it's got like a director's journal that Spike Lee actually wrote while he was making Do the Right Thing, and I've been reading that. It's so interesting because you see like day one he's already got so many ideas. He says like, oh, I've got an idea for this character and I'd like this actor to play him, and then to look at the cast, and that's what ended up happening.
That's fantastic.
I'm like, oh shit, that's really interesting. Yeah, no, that was really, really good. And then the last film that I watched of the bunch, I haven't seen Barry Lyndon and Stalker yet. I'm gonna do that after the Oscars, but I have seen Ikiru. I was I can't really say that I was disappointing because at the end of the day, it's a really fucking good movie. I think I just put my expectations too high.
Is it I've heard a lot of people have not like the same opinion, but they are surprised by it because it's not your typical Kurosawa movie.
No, well, I mean, it is. Besides the fact that it's not a samurai movie and it's set like in the present time, well, which is now the past time, but anyway, it is a very. I don't know how to say it. It is a very good story. It's about a guy who a middle-aged man who hasn't really done anything with his life and who learns that he is gonna die from stomach cancer in about 6 months. I don't really want to say too much because I don't want like. I think people should watch this movie. It is a really good movie, but there is a big part of the movie which is his life told through the voices of other people, and I wish that he had instead chosen to like do the whole thing from his point of view about him. That's basically the entire thing. No, besides that was really good, but I do think that I put my expectations a bit too high. That's my problem. I will say, so I said I watched a lot of movies this month. I actually saw 3 Akira Kurosawa movies because I really like his movies.
Oh yeah. Which ones did you see?
And so I saw the first movie I saw was High and Low. So that was my first non-samurai movie from him. That was so the first half was pretty good. The second half was really fucking good. I really liked it. And I also saw Sanjuro, which is the sequel to Yojimbo, which I'd already seen back in November, I think. I'm pretty sure that's an unpopular opinion, but I don't care. I think Sanjuro is quite a lot better than Yojimbo.
Ooh, I do not have an opinion on that quite yet, but I am planning. I don't know if I'll probably do it within like the next month or so. I'll probably just start going through all the Criterion Blu-rays I have that I haven't watched yet because it's a pretty sizable list.
Yeah.
But I would love to talk about that once I have seen Yojimbo and Sanjuro because I have those as well as Ikiru.
They're really good. They're all really good movies. Sanjuro was just, I don't know. I just like the story more. I thought. Yeah, I was just more into it. I can't really explain why, but yeah. And besides that, there aren't really a lot of movies that I really want to specifically talk about.
Well, all right. Do you want to get into Criterion's announcements for this next June?
Sure.
So, this is a big one. Like, I don't think there's been quite a month like this where I've wanted to see most of the movies. Not you like. I don't know if I want to buy all of them, but like actually like watch a lot of the movies that have been announced since I don't know, probably since I started following Criterion. But at first our first announcement. Let's just start from like the most recent things because so it goes pretty much what's going to come out at the beginning of the month to what's going to come out at the end of the month. On June 7th, 2022, we're getting The Tales of Hoffman, directed by Michael Powell and Emmerich Pressburger. On the 14th, we're getting Farewell Amor by Ekwa Masangi. On the 21st, we're getting a couple movies. The first movie we're getting is Rogue or Rouge. I'm not quite sure how that.
I'm pretty sure it's Rouge.
Yeah, Rouge would make a lot more sense.
Yeah,
but it is.
It's French for red.
Yay!
Now you know.
But it is directed by Stanley Kwan and stars stars Leslie Chung, which I'm very, very interested in watching another Leslie Chung movie because I loved him in his Wong Kar-wai appearances. And the other movie we're getting, which is one that I'm very excited about, is Shaft, directed by Gordon Parks. Which I I am a big fan of the kind of, you know, blaxploitation genre that Shaft inhabits. And I love the artwork that they have created for it. It's going to be a 4K edition, really, so I'm kind of excited. So yeah, I'll probably be picking up Shaft as well as our next two.
Yeah.
So on the 28th, I'll bring it up. We're on the 28th. We're getting The Worst Person in the World, which we've already mentioned. How do you pronounce the director's name?
Joachim Trier.
Joachim
I
Trier.
think.
Okay. Trier.
I think it's more Trier than Trier.
Okay.
Yeah, Trier.
Yeah, Trier.
I think
that sounds about right.
I'm pretty sure that's it. Sounds about right.
Yeah, we're getting Worst Person in the World, Joachim Trier, which I'm very excited about, and I think it's probably the most. Like it seems to me like it's the most soon after a movie's release that it's gotten into the Criterion Collection.
It's maybe
it seems like it, and I think
that's possible.
I think it's the first 2021 release in the Criterion Collection.
That could be true. I'm not sure, but that could be true.
I think it is. Yeah, because I'm looking at all the recent announcements, and all of them are like the most recent one was 2020. Yeah, I think this is the first 2021 release for the Criterion Collection, which is big.
I've seen a lot of people say that they didn't like the artwork.
I like the artwork,
but if you've seen, so this is like this reference a particular scene in the movie.
Oh, really?
Which is a crazy scene.
Oh, okay.
Mostly just like the girl in the middle. It's a crazy scene, and honestly, once you've seen the movie, you're not gonna see the cover the same way, and I really like it.
That makes me very excited to hear.
Yeah.
And finally, this is a big one.
Finally.
I have been waiting for this release for a while because I've been
people have been talking about this one for months.
I've been waiting to watch this movie till it came out on Criterion. It is Pink Flamingos, directed by John Waters.
Hell yeah.
Oh.
Which is weird because for so long I thought that it was already in the collection, because in my head it's his like biggest movie, it's his most well-known movie. It just makes sense that it's there.
But like we've had like Polyester, Female Trouble, Multiple Maniacs, like all of these other movies that he's made. But Female Trouble Pink Flamingos just somehow avoided the collection for years, and that's crazy to me. I'm very, very excited about this.
Yeah.
And I literally, I was in the car, and I remember I clearly looked down at my phone, and I was like, Pink Flamingo. I was like, what? And then I saw Worst Person in the World. I was like, what? And then I saw Shaft, and I was like, oh! It was like it hit me with all of those at once. Because like usually, like I said earlier, it's like. And obviously, you could go back through our catalog of episodes and see that, like, whenever there's a Criterion announcement, like at least in the last couple months, maybe we'll be really interested in one of them. But usually, it's just kind of like, oh, you know, that looks kind of all right, or like, you know, I'm not really too pumped about that release, but I'm glad it's there. But this is the first month in a while where I've seen like 3 straight releases where I'm like, yeah, I'm getting that.
Yeah.
So that
I feel like a lot of people.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I feel like every month I see comments of people saying like, not really good month this time I see, and it's not that it's a bad month. It's just that you don't know those movies.
Yeah, and usually
I feel like that's the case for a lot of people.
And usually that's a good thing. Usually it's a good thing when there's a lot of movies that I haven't heard about, because you know it's more movies for me to be exposed to. But sometimes it is like, nice.
Pretty much. Yeah,
sometimes it's nice.
Pretty much every time they announce movies, I'm like, well, all right, gotta add this and that to my watch list. Because in my head, like, if a movie is in the Criterion Collection, it's probably worth watching.
Yeah, I have very very seldom heard like bad things about like a Criterion movie. I think the only time I honestly I don't the only time I've ever heard about like a movie that people don't think is worthy of being in the Criterion Collection, usually it's like a box set movie that like Game of Death 2 or something, or like
there's also the what's the name? Fuck. The shit. Hold on, just a sec. I know that there's one that a lot of people don't like.
There is one that got brought up a couple times that I've seen in a lot of like thrift stores. So I don't know if this is like the Criterion movie to sell back, or for people to sell, because it is Tiny Furniture. For some reason that's the movie I see a lot of people say like, oh yeah, it's just a very puzzling release. Oh my god! God! I forgot the biggest ones. I forgot about Armageddon and The Rock.
Well,
like that.
Yeah,
it's old. It's old enough at this point to where it's like Criterion was a different thing. Like it wasn't nearly.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It wasn't nearly as like, obviously it was focused on art house shit and like other stuff like that, but like it wasn't nearly as like prestigious or as big as it is now. So
yeah,
it makes sense. Is all I'm saying, that like that was the that was what it was like.
Generally, the one that I hear people say is not good is Jellyfish Eyes, that is directed by Takashi Murakami.
Really?
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that it's not good, say that it's like annoying and stuff like that. And there's also movies like Robinson Crusoe on Mars, which is like, what the fuck is that? Why is that here? What is it doing there? And I think like War of the Worlds, which is like, yeah, it's an important movie, but it's not great.
Honestly, Jellyfish Eyes looks kind of charming. Like a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. I should probably. I mean, it's in my watch list. I should probably watch it to see what I think of it.
I'll have to check this out as well. It doesn't look nearly as bad as. I mean, I can see like,
yeah, well,
maybe
it's like
a little bit in the visuals. Someone might get a little caught up in it. Maybe when I see it, I'll think a completely different way. But
who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
But maybe we're gonna watch it and we'll be like, holy shit, this is bad.
Yeah, maybe we'll just be like, oh wow, this is just awful.
Yeah.
What other Murakami films are there? Why did I?
He's not a director. He's an artist, like a painter.
Oh my god, that's right. That's why I know him.
Yeah.
He's done some Kanye album covers. That's why I know him. Okay.
Oh really?
Yeah, he did the cover for Graduation and the cover for Kids See Ghosts. And I believe he was a consultant on the cover for My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, but I'm not sure. But yeah, that is why I know him.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so I think that's it for the announcements.
Yep.
Oops. So I don't know what else you if there's anything else you want to talk about.
There is. Okay, so this is not related to film at all, but I had a bit of an experience this afternoon. I had my first sleep paralysis experience.
Oh no.
So this is crazy. So since my apartment's been a bit of a mess, and obviously like over in this corner that my camera's pointed at, it's not the usual corner because I wanted to highlight the fact that my bed is gone because it was ruined by my leaking ceiling. So I'm sleeping on an air mattress in my living room at the moment, mainly because there's a lot of like, paint stuff still in here that I don't want to sleep near, and the other part of it is, since the apartment's been kind of under, in and out of being under construction, there's a lot of just kind of stuff laying around. Like, it's a little bit more messy than it usually would be. So
Yeah.
I got home from school today, around maybe like 1 or 2, and I fell asleep on the air mattress, and I had a moment where I thought I woke up and it was nighttime, and I was like, "Oh no, I slept, I slept through my alarm, and now I gotta go record Movie Dudes." So I tried to get up, but I couldn't. Like I had like tunnel vision. I couldn't like feel anything. And then I got up and I noticed that everything was like clean and tidy now. Like I looked around, there wasn't any like light coming from any light switches or anything. It was all candles. And I was like,
What?
what? And so in this like weird, like I tried to like teach my body how to move again. Like, I should be clear, this was a nightmare. This was not real. So I tried to like teach my body how to move again. So I'm starting to walk down my hallway, and I noticed just like little things, like my shelf where I keep like a lot of my DVDs was like packed to the brim with like books and stuff that I just did not own. So I was just like, okay, that's weird. And then I noticed that like there was a door in front of my hallway that's never been there, that like had like some weird writing on it. And so I'm like, okay, that's weird. So I opened the door and I went into the kitchen, and there was like all new decorations, like a new countertop, and I looked in the microwave. I looked in the microwave and I saw like plants. Like I said, the microwave was running, and it was like running for like an hour, and I saw plants in there just getting hotter and melting. I was like, what the hell is that? And so then I got out of the kitchen and I walked. I kept walking, and then I got to my room and I opened the door, and it was even more of a mess than it is like right now. Like it was like stuff was just everywhere, and then my bed was back, but it was in the wrong corner, and I looked and I saw like a figure laying in my bed, and then I woke up, and then I couldn't move. I woke up, it was light outside, so I know this was real, and I could hear the YouTube video that I fell asleep to, so I was just like and then I fell back asleep, and then I woke up like it was nothing. And I was like, that is genuinely one of the most terrifying experiences I've had in a while.
Shit. I've never had any like sleep paralysis experience, and I'm very happy about that, because I've heard from people that have had some. It seems horrible.
Because like it seems so real. Like when you have a when you have a nightmare before sleep paralysis, like if you just woke up and like felt sleep paralysis, you might have some weird moments, but like all in all, you're just kind of like, oh, okay, I've heard about this. But then when you have a nightmare that leads into sleep paralysis, it's a whole nother demon, dude. I thought my whole life was gonna change from that moment. Oh, another thing I didn't mention about my nightmare, I noticed that in my nightmare the door had been unlocked the entire time that I was asleep. So, which I usually lock my door because I live in like a pretty highly populated area.
Right.
And so like when I saw that, I was like, oh no, someone broke in, and then I noticed that nothing was stolen and everything was like spruced up, so I was like, what the hell is happening? So that was and then it was literally, I woke up 30 minutes before we were going to record. So so I got up and I'm just like, well, off to go do Movie Dudes now, I guess, after that.
Right.
So that was a very great moment that I think I'm gonna remember for a while.
Right. Fuck yeah, no. I rarely have nightmares, and I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, usually I'll just have dreams that are like a little weird, but like nothing too crazy. But this was obviously a very different thing.
Mm-hmm. All right, so since we got still some time left to the episode, I thought I could mention some other movies that I've seen.
Sure.
That I like to talk about. So I did forget the fact that I saw one of the scariest movies I've ever seen.
Oh.
Which is Hereditary.
Oh.
By Ari Aster.
I love that movie. What'd you think?
Dude, that shit was good. And so, like, I watched that movie with my brothers and some friends, and I usually don't watch movies with like a group of people, because I prefer to watch movies alone, and I don't have a lot of people who will want to watch Criterion movies with me. But Hereditary, I feel like it's a movie that it's good to watch it with people. Because I think it kind of, like, when you have someone that gets scared, it kind of adds to the whole thing. And there's so you've seen it, right?
Yeah.
So there's a scene in the movie that I think is like one of the best scenes I've ever seen in a scary movie, which I'm gonna call it the Spider Mom scene.
Yeah, that scene's insane.
It's for those who haven't seen Hereditary, think of it as a 5-10 minute scene where there is pretty much nothing in terms of audio. No one talks, and I don't think there's any music. It is the most tense experience I've ever experienced in any movie. I was so tense, so nervous as to what was about to happen. It is, I do think that it is a better movie than what's his other movie? Midsommar. Yeah, I did think that it was better than Midsommar.
I asked that question myself a lot, and when we eventually do our episode on Hereditary, because I know we're going to talk about it eventually. Whenever we do that, I'm going to rewatch both of them, because I really want to get another perspective on it, because it's been about a year since I watched Hereditary for the first time. Yeah, and it's been even longer since I've seen Midsommar. So, and I think another thing to mention, I think, like, by and large, the movie has helped a lot, at least in the scare factor for me, by the absolutely haunting score by Colin Stetson, especially in the final scene, which I won't say anything about here, but Jesus, that track is insane.
The whole movie is just so great.
Yeah, it is fantastic.
And I was scared that, like, my brothers would find it maybe boring or something like that. When the movie ended, I asked them, "So what did you think?" And everyone that in the room said, like, "Oh yeah, this is like the best horror movie I've ever seen." Because my brothers are used to watch, like, any horror movie they'll see on Netflix, or like sometimes they'll watch like really shitty horror movies.
Yeah.
And this is like one of the best. I mean, Ari Aster is one of the best horror directors, like, working right now.
He's probably my favorite working right now, honestly. Like, I can't think of any. I don't think anybody who does. I don't think I could name anybody who does it nearly as well as he does right now. But
and it's like there's what's his Disappointment Boulevard, which is the movie he's working on right now that I'm so excited to see. This is gonna be amazing.
I'm glad you brought that up too, because Ari Aster really does have a great quality of being able to, like, appeal to, like, the entire horror market, because, like, obviously there's people like us who usually would like a different kind of horror movie, and then there's just people who, you know, regularly go out and see horror movies, which is me sometimes. But, like, a great example of it is my girlfriend hasn't seen Hereditary yet, but she saw Midsommar. She loved Midsommar, and she hates weird. She hates weird movies. Like, she saw Eraserhead, hated it. She did not like it.
it is a difficult movie to get
No,
into. I don't blame her.
I said the same thing. I was like, look, I get it. I was like, look, I get it, but you're missing out. But yeah, like I was because we watched it together because I have both of the movies. We watched
Right.
Midsummer together, and she was like, "That was great," and I was like, "Really?" I'm like, "You liked it?" Like this is a great moment.
I feel like Ari Aster makes good movies for people that don't like horror movies. I feel like if you ask someone like, hey, why don't you like horror movies, they'll give you a reason, and then you'll be able to say, well, Ari Aster's movies don't really have that. Like, if someone says I don't like when horror movies because they're stupid, the stories are very, very clever, very well written in his movies. If someone says I don't like to be scared in movies, Midsummer is not really scary. It's more disturbing than anything.
If that's a good way I could describe like Ari Aster's movies is like I don't ever feel like very rarely do I feel like the kind of like deep like unease or very rarely do I like just feel the regular like just kind of like a horror movie scares. Like it really is just kind of like a pretty standard movie throughout the whole thing. And then you just start to feel this like deep feeling of like, oh, something's not right here. And then it just gets you at the end. Like both of these movies' ending scenes are probably some of my favorite endings in anything. Like they are so effective.
I mean, to me, that's what was the most memorable thing from Midsummer was the final scene.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Which is so good. Yeah, no, I really like Ari Aster. I think he's really good.
Yeah, I think he's definitely like my top 5 current directors right now. I think I would love because I mean everything I've seen of his I really like. So I'm very excited to see what he has in store next.
Very excited to watch Disappointment Boulevard. Yeah. A director that I'd like to see more of his movies because I think I could like him is Robert Eggers, who made The Lighthouse. And he also made, back in 2015, he made a movie called The Witch, which seems pretty good. And he's going to make another movie called The Northman. That's actually coming out this year with Alexander Skarsgård, Nicole Kidman, Ethan Hawke, Willem Dafoe as well. Fuck yeah. So that seems pretty good.
My Discord just came back in. I didn't hear a single thing you said.
All right. Fuck. So I was talking about Robert Eggers.
Oh yeah. Yeah. He's fantastic too.
So, so I was saying I haven't seen the Witch, but it seems pretty good. And The Northman, which is coming out this year,
very soon,
also seems really good. Yeah, I'm gonna try to watch that. I do want to watch more movies because the only movie that I've seen in theaters this year is Batman.
Mm-hmm. That's like the only current year release that I've seen in theaters this year. I've seen some 2021 releases.
Right. But this week, this Friday, there is a movie that is one of my most anticipated movies of the year that's coming out, which is Everything Everywhere All at Once.
That's coming out? Oh! Oh no. Yeah, I gotta go see that.
Dude, I gotta go see that. That is gonna be fucking amazing.
I thought that was like a month off. I didn't know.
No, dude, it's this week.
Oh shit. Yeah, I gotta go see that.
So that is this is the new movie from A21, which is about it's basically another movie about the multiverse, like Into the Spider-Verse or No Way Home, but instead of being about Spider-Man, it's about a middle-aged Asian woman who is like in this like action movie It just seems crazy. And immediately when I saw the trailer, I was like, fuck yeah, man, this is gonna be so good. And I just noticed two things. So I'm on the Letterboxd page. Just noticed two things. First of all, it's at 4.4 out of 5, which is huge.
How many people have seen it?
Just 1.3 thousand.
It's still pretty good.
Not a lot.
It's still pretty good average for 1.3 thousand.
I mean, the movie technically hasn't come out yet, so yeah.
Oh yeah.
But another thing that I have noticed is the like watch icon, instead of having the usual like watch eye like any movie, this movie has a googly eye, because I think it's like something important in the movie. I did see that, I think, in the trailer.
I didn't remember what you were talking about. So when you said a googly eye, I thought that was like some kind of classification for the movie. And I was like, oh, what? No. I was like, but now I remember.
But yeah, so I think it was like back in December where they showed the first trailer, and I was immediately like, holy shit, this is gonna be so good.
Oh yeah, I agree. I remember the first time I saw that trailer, I'm like, I gotta go see that.
Yeah, so it's directed by the Daniels, which is a director duo who are both named Daniel, which I think is kind of funny.
That's fun.
They're the same guy. They're the same guys that made Swiss Army Man with Daniel Radcliffe and Paul Dano.
Okay.
Yeah, which I haven't seen, but it looks good.
Yeah, that does look good.
I do really want to see it. So yeah, at some point, maybe next week, I'm gonna try to go and watch Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh yeah, I'll try to do that as well, and we'll reconvene here.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I feel like A21, A20. I don't know why I always say A21. A24. I feel like they've released a lot of movies this month. Mm-hmm. Like there was After Yang with Colin Farrell, mm-hmm. that I've heard a lot of people talk about, and there's also X.
Yeah,
which I've heard people talk about. Yeah, it's like a horror movie.
There's Yeah, I remember I had a friend who said that they knew someone who went to see it and really liked it. So I mean, I'll probably end up seeing that as well.
Yeah.
There was one more movie related thing that I just remembered I heard about that that I think is very funny. So apparently this week Morbius leaked. The entire movie leaked.
What?
It leaked for like, and I think it was out there for like maybe an hour, like 2, but people were able to download it and see the whole movie. And apparently it sucks. Really? Apparently it's like so much worse than we even could have thought. And that sounds insane.
I mean, no fucking shit.
Of course, but like, Phil, you have no idea how excited I am now. Like before I like wasn't gonna go see it because I'm like, oh, it's probably just gonna be like either okay or just kind of bad. Now that I know it's awful,
right?
Oh boy, oh my god, I'm so excited.
The thing that I find really funny about Morbius is that I've been hearing so many like interviews from Jared Leto saying like, oh, I want Morbius to fight Spider-Man. I want him to fight Deadpool. Tony Stark, who like fucking died.
I forgot about that.
And I cannot wait for Marvel to make Morbius and then never show him again ever.
Oh, that's gonna be so funny.
This is amazing.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. But yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing I'm gonna be looking out for this coming April when it releases on April 1st. It literally, it's an April Fool's joke.
Yeah.
Which is just
fuck. What was I? I was about to say something. Shit. Yeah, it is. It's just really really funny. When the first time I heard about that movie was when I saw No Way Home. There was a trailer for it at the beginning. I was like, I don't know how to feel about this.
Yeah, it's a terrible trailer, right?
I think it's not great. I every single time that Jared Leto is in a movie, I just hear so many stuff too about like his method acting, which is so just a good excuse to be an asshole and to be forgiven afterwards.
Oh God,
it's so funny.
I guess to just briefly mention another 2022 movie that keeps looking just better and better every time I see it, which is the new Sonic movie.
Yeah,
it looks fun.
Actually, yeah,
it looks really fun.
It does look fun. I haven't seen the first one, but it does look like at least entertaining.
Oh yeah, the first one, like I'd say the first one was fine, but like it had some really entertaining moments, but mostly it's just okay. But like, I mean, everything I've seen in the second one just looks like a really fun time. So I'm really excited to give it a watch when it comes out. I think it comes out April as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's soon.
Yeah. So yeah.
I feel like I'm not that aware of what movies are coming out soon.
The other day I did kind of make like a 2022 watch list, and like it has like you know stuff that we talked about like X and Sonic 2, obviously Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse Part 1, which
absolutely
Northman, which we talked about, and then there's obviously like Doctor Strange 2, the new Jordan Peele.
I do really want to watch that. Yeah, Nope. Yeah,
I'm very excited about that.
That looks good. Like, have you seen the trailer for
I
Nope?
have, yeah. And it's like
it looks good.
It looks really good, but it doesn't. And this is just me talking without knowing much about it other than the trailer I saw. It's just it doesn't look nearly as interesting as the on paper, I guess, as Us and Get Out did. But
I do like that the trailer really doesn't show a lot.
Yeah, that's my favorite part of Jordan Peele as a director so far, is that he knows what to show. And I think he's doing a real good job.
It's like, he's doing a great job. But it's like I like how I'm probably gonna go into the movie not knowing for sure what the menace is, what what the villains are. Like the trailer makes it seems like it's aliens, but is it actually aliens though? I have no idea.
Yeah. But other things that are coming out that I'm at least decently excited to see is obviously Everything Everywhere All at Once. The Super Mario movie.
Oh my god, it is coming out this year.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna watch
this. Is just something that kind of floated on by. But this year, I think it just I don't know if it's out yet. But Jesse Eisenberg's directorial debut is coming out. It's called When You Finish Saving the World.
What?
And it stars Julianne Moore and Finn Wolfhard. So I want to see that, mainly just because I'm very curious.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Another very interesting release is The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, which is a Nicolas Cage movie where he plays himself facing financial ruin, and he accepts an offer to like attend the birthday party of a dangerous super fan, and apparently he gets into like an action story in his real life. So It just seems goofy, and I'm kind of interested to see how it goes.
Oh my god, this seems so fucking cool.
It's so weird looking. I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm into that.
What? Hell yeah.
Another movie that I am very personally interested to see how it turns out because, oh boy, is the new David Leitch movie, which he is known for directing very Hollywood type movies. Like he directed Deadpool 2, Atomic Blonde, Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw.
Oh.
So you know,
right.
And he, you know, that's kind of what he's known for. But he's also known as the stunt coordinator or let me hold on, let's see. Yeah. He's also known as one of the stunt coordinators on John Wick. So, you know, very, very interesting filmography there. He's creating a new movie called Bullet Train. And would you like to know who the two leads are?
Yeah, sure.
The two leads are Brad Pitt as the main lead and as the female lead, Joey King.
Yeah. No fucking way.
My friend just... I was in the car
me.
with my friend, and he just casually mentioned Joey King is going to be in it, and I went, I'm sorry, what did you say?
Oh my god, this has like the worst
Oh, the poster's so bad. It's so bad looking. I don't know whether to be excited because it might be good or excited because it might be awful. There's just so many factors.
This is an interesting situation because Brad Pitt has made a lot of amazing movies.
Yes.
Joey King has made a lot of very, very terrible movies. Who is gonna be like? Who's gonna get a curse broken? Is what I'm saying.
That's true. Who
is Joey King finally gonna be in a bad movie? In a good movie, I mean.
Who's gonna get a curse broken? That's a great way of putting it. Oh my god.
I am very curious about that.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be following that one. I don't know when it comes out. Well, let me see if there's a release date yet. But yeah, as soon as I heard about that, I'm like, oh, I gotta see that whenever it comes out. That seems insane.
Yeah.
July 29th this year.
All right. Well.
Yeah, so that's when that comes out, I will be talking about that.
For sure.
Yeah, that's kind of about all I had to say about 2022 releases. That's all. It's decently interesting, at least.
Yeah. I would like to. Oh no! I thought it was a movie, but actually it's a TV show. So a few minutes ago, while we were like kind of taking a break because Discord was having like issues, I started scrolling Twitter a bit, and I saw that they're making. So Paramount Plus is making a TV show called The Offer, which is a show about it's a biopic about the making of The Godfather.
Oh.
And I just want to ask, why? I'm sure it could be good, and I really, really like The Godfather. Who cares? Like, does the making of The Godfather actually have an interesting story, or isn't it just like a very basic, like, oh hi, I'm Francis Ford Coppola and I'm gonna make an adaptation of this book? Because I'm pretty sure that's all it is.
Enough for a whole series.
Yeah. Oh, we need to talk about Coppola's new movie. Have you heard about it?
Coppola's new movie?
Francis Ford Coppola is making a new movie for this year, I think.
Really?
Hold
movie?
on. Hold on. Yeah, all right, I got it.
Okay.
So his new movie is going to be called Megapolis, with a budget of $100 million.
Okay.
And so I feel like it's been a long time since he directed a movie.
It's been about 10 years. From according to his
right.
letterbox, it's been about 10 years since a feature from him.
It's been about yeah, and it didn't get great reviews. But you know, Francis Ford Coppola, how old is he? He's like 80 something, I think.
Yeah, just about.
Yeah, 82. Yeah. You know, he's one of the greatest directors of all time. Just like with the Godfather trilogy and Apocalypse Now. And so we're pretty sure this is like probably going to be his last movie. And I think he just wants to go out with like a big one. And so just to think like this guy who hasn't really had a great career in the past like few decades, like over the past 20 years, is coming back with a a huge movie, a $100 million movie.
That is pretty big, and I'm very excited to see how that goes.
That is, I am very curious, and I really hope the best for him because he deserves to go out with. He deserves to like leave his career with a great last movie.
Yeah. Or you know, he could be like Clint Eastwood and still be cranking out movies in 91.
Is Clint Eastwood actually 91?
He released them.
He's 91.
He directed a movie last year. He directed. I'm sorry. Yeah. He directed and starred in a movie last year. That's
actually really impressive.
It's pretty impressive. Like I haven't seen the movie, nor do I want to. But like, it does interest me. Where it's like that is interesting that a guy that old is still like powering through. He's still making stuff, man. I thought the same thing. Mm-hmm. Didn't he direct that Sully movie with Tom Hanks?
Clint Eastwood? I don't think
that sounds like him. But like, all I remember is even then I was like, damn, this guy's a little bit old to be to be directing movies. But you know, I mean, he's been going at it. So you know, all props to Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
So you know, this
is you like that guy's never gonna stop. It's like fucking Miyazaki.
Yeah, it's just gonna work until he dies.
Retired 3 times. It's like he retired 3 times. Every single movie he's made in the last 15 years has been his last movie. And it's like people are saying that his new movie is going to be his last movie, and I'm like, really? No. Is it really going to be his last movie?
Unless this movie takes like another 5 years. I can't see that happening.
Ugh. No. I just hope. Well, no, all right, never mind. I was gonna say I hope this is gonna be better than the other movie that his son made, but I don't think that it's like it has to happen. It cannot not happen.
Yeah, it really is a shame about Goro.
It's a shame because like his dad is just so good, and then he tries to. First of all, it's complicated when you're trying to be a director and your dad is a massive director because it's like you're always going to be compared to him.
I've heard that
but
because he's done Goro has done like Tales from Earthsea and Earwig and the Witch, which I've both heard are 2 of Studio Ghibli's worst.
Yeah,
but
he also made from
I was about to say
From Up on Puppy Hill.
Yeah, that movie seems fine. Like from everything I've seen people talk about it, like, I haven't heard really any bad word about it. So it's like, I mean, you know, maybe he does have a good one under his belt. I sure hope so.
Yeah. It is kind of sad for him. Although I feel like there aren't that many directors that have another like very famous director father. Like there's him, and there's Sofia Coppola.
Oh yeah.
I'm not really sure.
Which, I mean,
of another example.
Sophia definitely took off on her own for sure.
Definitely, just like from
she didn't stay.
Lost in Translation.
She did not stay in her father's shadow for very long.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, from the very beginning, she went in a much more like indie type of movies, with like the Virgin Suicides, that kind of stuff.
Which you can say what you want to say about her output for the last 10 years, because obviously she had the Bling Ring, and the most recent On the Rocks with Bill Murray and Rashida Jones, which I heard was not good at all. But I mean, she definitely has had some big ones under her belt.
Yeah. I mean, Lost in Translation was nominated for a lot of stuff. I know a lot of people are saying great stuff about the Virgin Suicides. I have to watch that one.
Me too.
There's also Marie Antoinette with Kirsten Dunst, which seems pretty nice.
Yeah.
Oh, what? There's another Coppola that made a movie last year that was apparently terrible.
Another Coppola?
With I think it was like Sophia's niece, I think, and it was apparently really bad. It's with Andrew Garfield.
Is it Roman Coppola?
Maybe. Oh, Mainstream. By Gia Coppola.
Oh, there's another.
Yeah. It's a big family. There's a lot of people.
Big family.
They even have Nicolas Cage and Jason Schwartzman.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, so she made a movie that was, I think the movie is like about internet fame and like Instagram influencers.
Do you see?
And apparently it's not good.
I'm sorry. Do you see this picture right now on the Letterboxd page for Mainstream?
On the Letterboxd with Andrew Garfield's face on a big
that
screen.
That is just the worst. I'm gonna send this to the Discord chat now. Maybe put this up on screen because oh boy.
It feels like the kind of stuff that, like, the movie's not good, but just you want to watch it just for Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, Andrew Garfield's pretty great.
It's because, like, I think the Blu-ray for No Way Home has come out or will come out.
The digital came out. So I know that the Blu-rays come out.
Yeah, right. The digital came out. So a lot of people started making videos about No Way Home with actually good footage instead of just having like shitty like phone footage. And I saw a compilation that was like Andrew Garfield being iconic in No Way Home for 5 minutes. he really did a great job.
Yeah, like
on that.
I never thought my opinion on an entire Spider-Man performance would be changed in one night. But like, just seeing him back, I'm like, you know what? I don't think he was that bad. Those movies still suck. Those movies are still not very good at all. Like the Amazing Spider-Man movies.
I think the first one is fine.
Okay, I'll accept that. That's not,
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
I think it's fine. I wouldn't say it's bad, but I don't know what it is with Andrew Garfield, but last year he just went like really high in my top favorite actors.
Yeah, same here.
I just really like him, and that's making me think, like, even in the Social Network.
Oh yeah.
Fuck, he's good. He's so good in that. Like
I love him in a lot of movies that I've seen him in, but there's nothing that's gonna top his Social Network performance for me unless he goes like
definitely
insanely above and beyond.
Well, yeah. I do kind of prefer Tick Tick Boom, but that's just personal preference.
Right.
But the scene where he like kind of breaks down in the Social Network, man, that I think is probably my favorite Fincher scene of all time. I would agree.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I just rewatch that movie, rewatch that scene just on a whim. Like I'll just be like, oh, I want to see the scene where Andrew Garfield screams at Jesse Eisenberg again.
We really need to talk about The Social Network.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That should definitely be that should definitely be an episode soon.
Yeah. Speaking of new episodes, do you want to talk about next week's movie?
Yes, I do.
All right.
See, you brought up a good point with Social Network, but there was another movie that we talked about earlier that's really making me want to go back and revisit it and talk about it on here. Sure. It definitely will result in a much more simple episode because it's a very light film to talk about. Like it'll definitely be like a lighter discussion, but I think it's a movie that we should talk about nonetheless. And that is Little Miss Sunshine.
Oh, fuck yeah. All right. So when you mentioned the movie when we were talking about Paul Dano, I thought, man, I really want to watch Little Miss Sunshine at some point. So I was thinking like, oh man, I might try to watch it like at some point in the following weeks.
Yeah.
Now I got a reason to watch it. This is great. This is amazing.
Yeah, I love that movie, and when we were talking about it, I'm like, yeah, you know what? Yeah. That'll be the next one. Social Network will be soon though. Yeah. I really do want to talk about that sometime soon because it is in my top 10.
Me too. Yeah. I also say so that's going to be for next week, but I do want to tease that I have a movie that I want to talk about for episode. It's going to be like episode for 23, 4, 24. I don't know. But there is 24. There is a movie that I want to talk about. So
okay.
I will reveal that next week. Ooh.
Well, all right.
But yeah, Little Miss Sunshine. Fuck yeah. So thank you everyone for watching this new episode of Movie Dudes. If you liked it, you can like, comment, subscribe. You can follow us on our Letterboxd and our Twitter and our Twitch. I was going to make an announcement, but I forgot that the episode is going to come out later. But we are this Sunday. We're going to be making a live. I do want to say this live stream. We're going to be making an episode, a live stream on the Oscars. We're going to be streaming the entire thing, and I am going to make a highlight video of the Oscars that I'm going to post on the channel. I don't know if this is probably going to come out after the Scott Pilgrim episode, so you can look out for that.
Mm-hmm. We'll upload the VOD on here too. Just the
VOD, and I also really want to make a highlight version. Of course.
That'll be
maybe like 20-30 minutes.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Just to show our reactions. Yeah. But yeah, and I think that's we're also on Spotify. That's what I forgot to say. And yeah, so thanks a lot for watching this episode, and we'll see you next week to talk about Little Miss Sunshine.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.